Okay, it's the last slot, so I know you are all very tired, and I will try to make this as interesting as possible. And I will try by doing some live coding on the Vaadin web framework. So first, I'm sorry if you attended my talk yesterday. I will have the same slide introducing myself. Yeah, sorry, so you can tweet, talk, chat, whatever you want. Tell hello to your friend on Facebook. So who am I? I'm Nicolas Fränkel. I'm a software architect. I also develop systems. I've been working for more than 10 years as a consultant, first in France, now in Switzerland. And I also teach stuff at universities, and I train people to be better. Also, you can follow two of my blogs if you're interested. So the first one is blog.fränkel.ch. I blog about, mainly Java, but I can also talk about Scala, JavaScript, and stuff like that. And the other is more focused and entirely focused on Vaadin, and it's called morevaadin.com. So why more Vaadin? Because I wrote, and I'm very proud of it, the first book about the Vaadin web framework, which was not by the Vaadin company, which was called Learning Vaadin. And last year, I finished the update called Learning Vaadin 7. Also, I'm currently writing a book about integration testing called Integration Testing from the Trenches, because I found that many people are mixing integration testing, unit testing, testing in general. Yeah, there is some confusion, and I would like to clarify things and how to make people make better integration tests. So now I work for an e-commerce company called Hybrid Software, and of course Hybrid Software is a very good company because it sends me here. So please have a look at them. They're really, really cool. And since they are German, located in Munich, they can send you to the nice little party called the Oktoberfest, when you can have small drinks of beer. And you can also have fun getting dressed with traditional German dressing. So first, Java web development. Java web development is complex. This is me when I was young. See how happy I was? I was passionate. I wanted to do Java web development. And then what happened? Hey, I was taught Java. That was OK. Then I had to learn about the Servlet API, GSP. What about the taglib? Yeah, because you have to know taglib. And of course, HTML, because that's what we create. CSS, JavaScript, DOM, AJAX, HTTP. Oh, come on, guys. I was not so happy in the end. And in the end, it took me more than 10 years to have, to be at least at ease to understand everything. And I'm not talking about any framework here. I'm just talking about basics, you know? So if you're like me and you do not want to wait 10 years, if you already have 10 years of experience, you must be paid very well, which, of course, you are not. So I encourage you to have a new look at life by doing Vaadin development. And Vaadin development basically requires what? Requires Java and Vaadin. And only if you want, you can go a little further by doing JWT and Sass, which is basically compiled CSS. How many of you know about Sass and less? OK, so if you want to compile your CSS to have very concise CSS and not rewrite them each time, then you can have a look at them. So I think that is enough now, and I will try to show you some Vaadin love. So first, I will share my screen with you. And where is it? Yeah, mirror display. So, yeah, that's good. Okay. So, in the end, if I did not finish in time, there is a GitHub project that shows this code. So, yeah, you can look. So first, we'll create our Vaadin project. So the only thing that I needed was Eclipse and Vaadin plugin. You can also use NetBeans and IntelliJ, and there are plugins for both of them. So, but I'm more at ease with Eclipse. So I will call my project JEEConf. And I will use Tomcat 7, which is a good thing to do. And also the rest of the configuration, I will leave it as default. So the context root will be JEEConf. And the application name will be, OK, I will set it like that. And it will be org.jeeconf.vaadin, and the application class name will be JEEConf there. And here, the theme name, yeah, forget about that. It's just a theme. There are some themes that you can use. OK, hop. And now, just forgot something. Hey, it's a demo. So probably I will make some big mistakes, and you will have to help me. So will you be able to help me when I need your help? So you have to be very, very aware of what happens. So I created my first Vaadin project, and I just have to add it to deploy it to Tomcat. Since I'm very lazy, I will also try to use JRebel, because JRebel rocks. And now I will publish, because I'm not sure if it will work otherwise, and yeah. So Vaadin is starting, and now I can have a look at the Vaadin. And here it is. Hey, come on, guys. So I coded basically nothing. OK, I had help from the Vaadin plugin. But what is very interesting is that you had to code this by hand. Yeah, you would have to create the web.xml, the servlet, the GSP. So there is a button. I will click it. OK, yeah, OK, it's very stupid, but it works nonetheless. So the thing to see now is how I achieve this. And basically, I achieve this with only one. Oh, it's perhaps a little too much. So I will probably reduce the font size to 13. Yeah, sorry about that. All people can still see, even people in the back of the room. OK, that's great. So basically, this is all the code that is required. There is no HTML, no JSP, no CSS, no nothing, only Java code. And the good thing is this Java code is compiled to real bytecode. So who knows about JWT? Great, you can forget about it now. Because what you do when you do JWT is you code in Java, and everything is compiled in JavaScript. And the development lifecycle is not so good. Good thing with Vaadin, JWT has been pre-compiled. So you only have to pass messages. So how can we analyze that? The first thing is a theme, but we will remove it. We don't need it anyway. It's the UI. So we are extending the UI. And in this UI, there is an init method. And that's basically the magic of Vaadin. This is only to declare a servlet. So this replaces what you would have done by using a proper web.xml deployment descriptor. You know about this annotation? It's servlet 3.0. Yeah, OK, it's only declarative. It's much easier to use it. And so basically, sorry, basically the init method creates a vertical layout. So it's very fluent. Who ever coded in Swing? So that's like Swing, you know? You don't have to understand everything from the request-response model. And we create a margin, and we send the content of the UI. It's a layout. In the layout, we will add a button. And look, this is very funny. This is like magic. This is really where I love Vaadin, because when you do UI on traditional clients, you're using event-driven programming. When I click on this, I want this to happen. When you do web development, no, you say, OK, I will get the request to the server. Then on the server side, you say, OK, oh, I have to grab the parameters I want to understand what really will happen. But it's not the good level of abstraction. I want to create web applications. I want to create business value. I do not want to scrap the query parameters and to organize them and then to understand what they mean. So this is semantic web application development. And then, OK, the button click. And when the button is clicked, layout at component new level. And any child can understand this. Any child can develop this. OK? So very easy. So let's try. You see, there is something in Vaadin called the components. And yeah, anything I want to add will be a component. So I will add a new text field. And I use the right one. Is it the right one? Yes, it's the right one. I will create a new label saying a text field. And normally here, what I forgot, I need your help, is to add it to the layout. No. Yep. Oh, there is an error. Yeah, thanks. Who is following? Great, thanks. So I added a text field very easily. And what can I do? Here it's a vertical layout. Let's change it to an horizontal layout. OK, now imagine when you do that with HTML. Yeah. So yeah, you might say, OK, but we have a bunch of front-end developers that are very good. Yeah, if they are very good, they cost money. That's OK, but that's understandable. And then, where I work, we also have a bunch of very good front-end developers. But I work in Switzerland, so I are paid well. But it's OK. The thing is, what happened when the front-end developer have to communicate with the back-end developers? Yeah, at some time there is a mismatch. You need integration, you need time. You will have back and forth negotiation to say, hey, but pass me this parameter, but I cannot use it, and stuff like that. Here, you have no negotiation because you, as the back-end developer, can do everything. But even better, you know, there is a nice thing called the form layouts. And with a form layout, you notice that the label of the text field is not very well done. The good thing is, yeah, not really nice. Now it's much nicer. And when you create business applications, you create forms. And you want your forms to be, yeah, very easily created. And much of the time, they are not. So yeah, AngularJS is breaking the world. It's winning over. But yeah, you have to know AngularJS, you have to know JavaScript. You know, there are many pitfalls in JavaScript. So when your application is very simple, you can use it like that. So the next stuff I wanted to tell you is about the title. So you could go to every page and change the HTML title tag, or perhaps you prefer to just have an annotation saying JEEConf here. And of course, yeah, you get it right. So, very simple, you know? I'm not smart. I want tools that help me, and Vaadin is helping me. So what's next now is, yeah, architecturing. So basically, right now, what we created is a simple, big file, a big class, which is completely opposite to what we want, because we are good software engineer and we are using object-oriented programming. So when you do something like that, the first things to do is to have something, extract, move type to new client. So yeah. Servlet is not so good a name. I will use the JEEConf servlet, yeah. So the rest is the same. I don't like warnings. Okay, and I want also to have a real behavior. So I will create a new package, and I will say it's the behavior of my applications. Because most of the time, when you do web application development, it's a tangled mess, to say the least. And I will say, display new label behavior, and it will implement the button.clickListener interface. Where is, no, I have to say click listener, and probably it will find it for me. Yeah. And at this point, I can do that. So now I noticed that at this point, I'm missing the layout I want to add. So the only thing I need is to have a private layout. It will be a form layout, but I can be more generic so as to pass any layout. In this case, since we don't want to reuse source generates and generate constructor using fields. This one, okay. So what is it telling me? Import. Great, and now it wants to do duplicate method. I've copy-pasted twice. Oh yeah, thanks. Live coding is an interesting exercise, but you are such a great audience that, yeah, it's very easy. Now I forgot something. No, I didn't forget something. Okay. So now it's very easy since I had this new click listener, and instead of adding this new click listener, I will add the new display behavior. New on the layout. Okay. What can I still do is to create a proper UI. So I will create a proper UI package and put everything that I find in the UI in it. Because, yeah. So it will be my first screen, I will call it. Not a very good name, obviously, but still. it will extend the form layout. And here in the constructor, so now thing is, I don't need the layout itself because I will build the layout, and yeah. And here it's this. So now, is it proper object-oriented programming? I think yes. Okay. So if I did a good job, nothing would have changed. Okay, great. But the thing is now, yeah, I have a real, back-end engineer structure, you know? Anybody can understand this is my UI, this is my behavior. This is by packaging by nature, but you can also package by feature. It's up to you. Okay, even better. We can do better. So I will create another screen, and I will call it, let's say, my second screen. And this will be a vertical layout. Oh, the second screen. So I'm talking Norwegian now. It will be second screen. Okay, create a constructor. Now you know how it goes, and I will add a component, which will be a label saying, hey guys. Okay, now I want, when I click on the button, I do not want to add a new component. I want to switch to this screen. So it must be extremely complicated. So the most complicated stuff is to create a new behavior. And since I'm very, very, very lazy, I will just paste the existing one. And I will call it switch screen behavior. And now I do not need the layout anymore. The only thing that I have to do is to get the current UI, and thing is Vaadin has a very simple API to get the current UI, and set content new second screen. So let's not forget to change here the behavior of the button. Switch screen behavior. Hey, come on, I was expecting more from you. No, but it's very powerful. Because here, you can understand what your application does. If I give you a bunch of GSP and servlets or Spring controller, I can assure you, you will not understand. So you've got semantics right here by using proper Vaadin. Okay, you might say it's not good enough, but I think it's pretty powerful. So let's create a login form instead. And I want, when I'm logging, Oh, I forgot something very important. Look at that. So, look at the URL. I switch screen. The URL stays the same. So you will say, but what? Why? Because, yeah, I want to bookmark pages. But guys, this is an application. This is not a website. So I do not want you to bookmark pages that are not in the good state. I want you to go through my steps. So the only use case you can think of is if you've got a store or if you've got a library. And you might want to say, OK, but I want people to bookmark this product or to bookmark this book. Yeah, it's possible also with Vaadin very easily. But by default, it's not enabled. So it's only single-page application. And thing is, you might want to reload, and we lose the state. When you reload, you are recalling the init method. Sometimes, when you have a workflow of different screens, and you want to check your modification, it's not a good idea to get back to the first screen, so you have to type again and again and again. So there is this nice annotation, which is called preserve something, and I don't remember, but Eclipse will find it for me. Preserve on refresh. Now, what happens is that, OK, I'm at the root, I click, I got on the second screen, and the state is really preserved, which is a very nice feature. Because even if your users try to refresh, they will be in the same state. And the good thing is, how many of you had problems managing the refresh, managing the back button, managing the forward button, keep everything in sync? Yeah, me, I did numerous times. What do I care now? I've got that. I don't have to code anything. It's a given. And then you will tell me, yes, but now I still want to be redirected to the first screen when I want to refresh, because I want to show everything. And I think there is this restart application equals true, which works. So even when you preserve and refresh, you still have a way to restart the application. Then you will tell me, yes, but my customer knows this trick. Yeah, it can be disabled also. The good thing is, with these nice parameters, you can also have some debug window, which also can be disabled. Because Swing is very powerful, but when you are nesting layouts in layouts, at some point, hey, where is your label? I wanted to show it here. Where is it? And Vaadin is the same. You know, when you're nesting components inside components, sometimes you might lose them. So this nice debug window can show you everything, can show you, everything, the form, the button, the text field, and stuff. And of course, when you click, sorry about that. Yeah. So yeah, it will show you everything of your component. You can even select a component and say, OK, this is what, and it tells you which attributes. No, it's very powerful. The Vaadin company was formed by people like me, but much smarter. And in a sense, they had many problems by creating web application, and they just wanted to solve them. They were not very high-level researcher or PhD. They were very pragmatic, and they know what happens on a project when you're stuck. So they provide you with all the tools. So I wanted to create my login form. Yeah, I'm also always lazy, so I will just copy-paste. And the login screen I will create. The first will be, let me think, a login. And I will call it login field. Yeah, very imaginative, I know. But you know, it's the end of the week, it's a little hard. And the second will be the password field. And the good thing is, yeah, there is something for that too. You know, it's like the Apple advertisements. There is an app for everything. Great. Now I have to put them, and of course the button will be the last, and login field and password field. I can remove this text field. I will just need to add the button. Okay, I will show you just for fun. But you know what? Oh no! Did I save? No. What did I forget? I forgot to put it on the UI. Again, you're not following. It's not so good, you know. I will also give thank you notes to people who are following, so please be aware. So yeah, this is login password, and yeah. Now I want my switch screen behavior to be more like a login. And I want to copy paste. You know, a good software engineer is really lazy. I think I'm very good. And login behavior. And of course, here I'm showing you this, but your behavior can delegate to services and stuff. You do not have to code everything into the same class. So I want my login behavior to use the text fields, and it will be a login field. So here I'm showing you a couple design. There is something which is called event bus on Google. Who knows about event bus? Yeah, great. So you can pass messages between your classes without this much coupling. But of course, yeah, it's something more to add. But I would suggest you check event bus because it's a really cool library with only 3 classes, and you got everything done for you. So yeah, just use it or not. So, and I will have a very, very hard management rule which say, if my name, no, I'm not so megalomaniac, I will say JEEConf equals login field dot get value. Then I will switch the screen. And still, because I'm always lazy, I should stop saying I'm lazy, because at some point you will believe me. So it will be JEEConf. So it will be the default value. And now what I forget is nothing. So probably it should work. Sorry? I did not add, sorry. Oh yeah, I did not change the behavior. You're very right, thanks. You will get a card from me. And yeah, the login behavior. So here, again, refresh. Hey guys. And now I have to restart the application. And if it doesn't work. So, very easy. Now, of course, if it doesn't work, I do not want the user to think that yeah, something wrong happened. And I want to notify him. So how can I notify him of something? Then I will say, it will be also very complex. And I will say, sorry, guy. So it's one line of text. Come on, anybody can do that. So yeah, now you know why you shouldn't let people know about Vaadin, because if they know about Vaadin, they don't need you anymore. The thing is, it's called a humanized message. Why? Because if I swipe, it goes away, which for an error message is not quite interesting. I would like an error message to focus, to get the attention of the guy. So, okay, I will say something like type.error message. At this point, if I do something wrong, now I see the message. And of course, at this point, the good thing is I cannot do anything else. I cannot click, I cannot enter anything. So now I have to say, okay, I saw your message, and get back again. Also, let's say that I want still the people to say, okay, you are logged in now. So there is no more placeholder to keep or to pop up or to anything. It's, yeah, fluent. So now when I get logged in, very nice. So I've not so many time left. I cannot, yeah, I probably won't be able to show you push, which is bad because it's, yeah, as easy as it was. What I can show you is, let's say that I want the user to be put into the session. So I will say UI, no, it's, sorry, Vaadin session dot get current dot set attributes, and I will say user, and I will say login field dot get value. And on the second screen, I will say public. No, first I have to get a component. So this component will be user name. So I will add a new component, and it will be the username. And I forgot to initialize it, so it will break. New label now. And then I will have a public void show username method, which will display in the label the username. So I will get also a Vaadin session dot get current dot get attributes, and it will be username. How did I call it again? Sorry, I called it user, so it will be also a user. And I don't forget it to cast it in string. So why are you using Vaadin session and not HTTP session? Because how can you obtain an HTTP session from the HTTP servlet request? And as you can see, there are no access direct, at least direct access to the HTTP servlet request. Because we do not want you to use the HTTP servlet request. It's an abstraction. So we should use the Vaadin abstraction over the whole request response stuff. And username dot set value, and it will be like name. We do not forget to call it on the login behavior, because otherwise it won't work. Refactor extract local variable, and then it will be the screen. Now, when we do that, now we can say screen dot. How did I call it again? Show username. Okay. And so on and so on. And really, really, yeah, very powerful. So what I will stop talking right now because, yeah, I can talk like the end of time and you won't like that. But what are very powerful in Vaadin is a binding model, because there is a very, very powerful binding model. For example, it's very easy to connect to SQL table or a GPA model or an Hibernate model, and then to code and to bind into the model and to display a table or even to display the result of a query. And if you have nested table, which is often the case, you can also nest those tables inside the table, so using the dotted annotation. So either you are using plain SQL, which is quite good, or you're using GPA, which is not necessary, but if you already have your model, it's okay, or an Hibernate one. And there is a container abstraction. So you can switch your implementation when you want, and you can display tables very easily. The good thing about Vaadin tables is, let's say you have millions of records. And in any technology, you would code something to say, OK, I will not hold the million of records. I will only get, I will fetch 50 rows and then display more when the user is browsing through the table. And here, it's out of the box. So can you give him the microphone, please? So let's begin QA.
I got a couple questions about Vaadin. First of all, it's generate full HTML layout and pass from server to client. If you got a table with 1 million rows, it will slow down your browser or
so
not?
You have many points. So please let me show you. Yeah. So the first thing is, let's see what the source code is. So basically, it's not quite huge, you see? But it doesn't reflect the current structure of the page. It reflects the initial structure of the page. So basically, this is what Vaadin gives you to bootstrap. If you want to go further, I will display again in shared screen because here it's a little hard. OK. So now I want to close the source and I want to use my friend Firebug. So here is the stuff that is generated by Vaadin. And I will just use the second screen because it's much easier to understand. And here, div ID and div class VUI and div class VLayout and table class and color group and Okay, so you understand how it works. So the thing what I wanted to tell you, so the first point is, okay, it generates HTML. When you're using any of the out-of-the-box provided container, which the main is the SQL container, if you have millions of rows, you will get only, like, say, 50 rows, which is more than the viewpoint of the user. And if you start to scroll down, you will not reach the end of your 50 rows. So it will be very flowing. Then, at some point, you will go beyond. And then at this point, Vaadin will create a new request. So you will only get the rows that are displayed.
Yeah, and at this time, user will wait for request, will come back.
Yeah, but it's very easy, because in any way, there is no magical solution.
Basically, yes, but you can do in GVT, you can go only for data or some kind of not edge request.
Sorry?
Lazy loading, you may do in background some kind of.
Yeah, you can do that also in Vaadin, but you have to create it yourself. What I'm presenting you is only thing you don't have to do. Things you would do normally. Thing that, yeah, makes your life really crap. And it's already a given. You know, they are freely given this. Vaadin is open source. You can use it. It's LGPL, I think, so. Other questions?
Hello, I've used Vaadin 6 point something like this,
okay.
And have a question about user sessions. As I know, there was some limitation, and was this fixed? How many user sessions can be in? I believe it's Vaadin 7, yes.
So the question is about user sessions, and in a standard Spring MVC web applications, your architect will tell you not to use the Vaadin. Not to use, sorry, the HTTP session. Okay, and so many people are saying, but guys, Vaadin is storing states server-side, so it's really, really bad. Okay, first questions. How many concurrent users do you have? Each time I'm asking the question, who has an application currently who develops on an application with more than 100 users? Come on, 100. Oh, okay. Thousands. Oh, okay. So at this point, you should consider perhaps not using Vaadin. Vaadin is not your magical toolbox for everything. Vaadin is very good if you have to create business applications, if the user has to fill forms. Okay? You will probably not do LinkedIn on Vaadin. You will probably not do Twitter on Vaadin either. But who is developing LinkedIn every day? Me, I'm not. For example, for more than 10 years, I've developed web application for less than 100 users. Even worse, I've made to develop a web application for 4 users. Yeah, okay, only because deployment was easier and then did not want to use Java Web Start and stuff like that. It's really stupid, but okay.
Second question about, I know in Vaadin 6 was some problem, or to say, very good cooperation with Spring. Is it now something better?
With Spring?
Yes.
Yours is a very good point. And basically, it's true. It's true, I tried it. There are some add-ons. So basically, with Vaadin, you also have got an add-on library where you can download jars and see the add-on in effect and stuff like that. And perhaps I can show you. It would be even nice. Vaadin add-on. Yep. Oh, no, I'm not on the internet. OK, forget about that. But still, you can find them. And yeah, there have been Spring add-ons, and they really sucked. Now, Josh Long from Spring Source itself worked with a Vaadin guy. And now they created, and it's on GitHub, a very, very powerful, and I use it, very powerful Spring Vaadin integration. And it works like a charm. And it's like, yeah, 30 classes. It's really simple. And even if you're interested, on my blog, blog.fränkel.ch, I even created an article on how to use it with Java config, meaning you got no XML at all. And it really works, yeah. Other questions?
Thanks for the talk. That was
Don't
nice.
ask me a hard question, please. At the end of the week.
Well, that's not like hard question. I'm just not from. Well, I do server side, but I don't do UIs on server side. I prefer classical front end. So
Okay.
my question is, how flexible is this kind of interaction? Because, well, on front end, it's well, a bit of a problem that you will have like security issues if you don't manage your HTTP request headers. Well, right, you will have XSRF and or others. You need to pass some custom stuff. Well, if you're working in cluster, for example, you may share some states of a cluster through HTTP. So
to be frank about the security headers themselves, I don't have enough experience to talk about them, so I cannot tell you.
Just custom headers, any of custom headers that you could put into Vaadin.
You have access to the HTTP request if you really want. Okay. No, you
just said you don't have it.
No, I said it's hidden from you, but you can get it if you want. I say if you can avoid it, avoid it. So second question is about security. And the very good thing is, for example, each time you are sent a response, an answer, and it's in JSON format, in a proper letter, yeah.
Well, I have 4 questions.
Yeah.
The next one. And you also said there's like easy integration with less and SCSS. Yeah. So how does it correspond to, how do you know what classes and stuff? So is there like a big reference documentation or something like that?
So basically, each component has its own class. And it's very simple. If the component is called button, the class is called vButton. The text field is called vTextField. So it's very easy. The good thing is about Vaadin is that if you've got no front-end skills, you really suck at CSS, which is my case. You can do without. But if you have very skilled CSS and a graphic designer and stuff, they can create a team for you. Even better, since the only coupling that you saw between the app and the theme is the @theme annotation and the UI, both themes can work in parallel. Because imagine this use case. You've got this project manager who comes and tells, hey, you people, now we've got a warning button on this screen and this screen and this screen. So the CSS guy will create a new class, warning button. And then he will also add it to the HTML. And then, of course, he will forget some screens. And of course, during the course of the project, they will add some screen where they will forget the class. And in the end, it will be bugs, and it will be back to square one, and again and again. With Vaadin, you use button, but you can also create your own class saying, yeah, it's a warning button. And it has a semantic value. And by using a different class, then you can defer the real styling of the warning button until the end of the project. So you can work in parallel with your graphic designer, and it's very, very, very interesting. And I think we are overdue by 5 minutes, so I really must... Okay. It's not my fault.
Yeah. Okay, let's all another questions personally.
Okay, thank you for your attention, and thank you very much.